Hi, everyone. Our subject today is about purpose and meaning of life. Uh, this is a broad subject and personal subject at the same time, which is a way of handling one's own life and handling or projecting the life in general as a means or as an end or an objective. No matter how projected the meaning of life pertains to the significance of living or existing in general, yet many related questions like why are we here, what is life all about, or why did we exist? Many answers, of course, proposed from many different cultures and ideological backgrounds. This has produced much philosophical, scientific, theological, and metaphysical speculations throughout history. Different people and different cultures believe different things to these questions. The main understanding perceived from philosophical and religious contemplation and scientific inquiries about existence, social, social ties, consciousness, happiness, other issues are also involved, such as ontology, values, ethics, free will, good and evil, concept of God, the soul, and afterlife. The scientific approach is marked through the universe and how to provide well-being interrelated with morality. So human meaning is derived from a fundamental fear of death, and values are selected when they allow us to escape the mental reminder of death. Having a greater meaning of life can reduce sickness and diseases. Therefore, consciousness and free will are of fundamental importance. Life will never be understood without, nor will it let us discover its purpose or even get to conceive one and choose a significant life goal. Historically, the concept of life took many conflictual issues from ancient Greek to modern time through Renaissance and all revolution. Not to forget the theist concept of adopting God's purpose of life that He created altogether, or a theist concept of existence that a man or a woman can create the meaning of their life, the essence of their life, which causes suicide in failure of achieving one's objective because of lack of hope as an element of motivation and deception overwhelmingly controls the mind of the person, pushing him or her to commit suicide and lose life, and any purpose should have been set in the first place altogether. Therefore, hope, which is connected to patience, which in turn is connected to faith, can lead you to a subjective purpose as a favorable objectivity. Encouraged by religious concepts, according to Judaism, the meaning of life is to elevate the physical world and prepare it for the world to come, that is, the messianic era and the spiritual afterlife. The final goal is a perfected world to come. That's for Judaism. Christianity has its root in Judaism and shares much of its faith ontology. Its central belief derived from the teaching of Jesus, to whom life's purpose is to seek divine salvation, and the most important law in life is to love the Lord your God with all your heart and mind and soul, and love your neighbor. While in Islam, as it is the perfection of Judaism and Christianity, humanity's ultimate purpose is to worship their Creator, Allah, through His signs and be careful to Him through sincere love and devotion. By following the divine guideline revealed in ultimate book of the final revelation, the Quran, which offers an understanding easy to conceive, should Allah as a creator is basically considered as in the verse or in the verses 1 and 2 of Surah 67, which says, "Blessed be He," means Allah, "in whose hand is the kingdom. He is powerful over all things, who created death and life, that He might examine which of you is best in deeds. And He is the Almighty, the Forgiving." As well in verse number 51 of Surah 56, which says, "And I," Allah is talking about Himself, "and I created not, the jinn and mankind except that they should be obedient," which means in the purpose of following the guidance to get them to happiness, to fulfillment, etc. This testifies to the oneness of God, Allah. Those two verses, okay, those three verses actually, testify to the oneness of Allah. Since Allah is telling us He created jinn and mankind, so they be obedient, and that He created everything, created life and death, or rather started by death and life, just to tell in the afterlife who is better than the other, in the sense that who had followed the guidance, who had the good deed to be compensated, or otherwise. And finally, Allah described life so realistically and in details, offering us to consciously understand the meaning of life and to focus on something greater as a compensatory objective that is definitely and should be the real purpose of life. That is in verse number 20 of Surah 57, which says, "Know," talking to Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad, "know that the life of the world is only play." Of course, talking to the Prophet Muhammad is talking to everybody who reads and listens. So know that the life of this world is only play and amusement, pomp and mutual boasting among you, mankind, among you, and rivalry in respect of wealth and children, as the likeness of vegetation after rain thereof, the growth is pleasing to the tiller, afterwards it dries up and you see it turning yellow, then it becomes straw. But in the hereafter, a severe torment and forgiveness from Allah and good pleasure, and the life of this world is only a deceiving enjoyment. Allah is trying to tell us that this life is temporary, is ending, but the afterlife is everlasting. So, to be pleased in the afterlife, you have to do good and follow the guidance. And those guidance are beneficial to mankind because they do mankind good at the same time. They elevate mankind to the level of, of respected, respectful, of wise, of knowing, of you know, serene mind, peaceful, and all this stuff. And in the afterlife is the real enjoyment. That's what it means. Like the big lotto, if you want, in the popular meaning. So, to focus on a purposeful life, one should have values, okay? And those values should be identified that are meaningful to reach a state of happiness. Something that might come only after suffering, which means not without a price. Nothing comes easy, nothing is for nothing. Therefore, we should accept this duality as a natural law, which means pleasure and suffering, implied by a mighty creator, which is the order of creation, the order of life. It is implied by a mighty creator designer, which means he designed the whole world and universe with his laws that we call laws of nature, uh, and everything happens accordingly. So, implied by a mighty creator, designer of this world and its creation. You know, he placed everything in place. Who must be a merciful, as gracious that he is, and taking care of everything with love and kindness if we follow his guidance. Isn't he taking care of the universe and of us like uh, 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 unveiling almost everything to mankind from on one side and putting the universe in a perfect shape that's, you know, turning and running, and things are well designed and well, precise and everything. All this is for the benefit of us, mankind, if we know how to get benefit out of by following the guidance of Allah, which is prescribed in the holy books in general, but mainly and particularly in the Quran, because it is the final message, it is the final revelation, and it is uh, the perfection of what came before. Thank you.